Joining me now from The Hague is Akila Radhakrishnan, President of the Global Justice Centre. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So what exactly is happening in court this week, and why is the junta representing Myanmar instead of the National Unity Government?
So this week, the ICJ is hearing objections that were filed to jurisdiction actually shortly before the coup by the previous government, including the National League for Democracy. And the reason the junta is in court this week is really a matter of procedure, where the court communicates with who's accredited to it. And with the contestation right now between the National Unity Government and the junta and various UN venues, it seems that many of the UN agencies are choosing to maintain the status quo from before the coup.
Right, and for the benefit of our viewers who may not know the background to this tragic story, talk to us about what happened in 2017 to the Rohingya people and what their circumstances are now.
Well, in 2017, the Rohingya were subject to a massive wave of violence, of murder, of sexual violence, of forced deportation into Bangladesh. Today, over 1 million Rohingya live in Bangladesh and just 600,000 remain in Myanmar. And this was built on decades of religious discrimination and oppression of the Rohingya minority, including the denial of their ability to have citizenship in the country. And so today you have 1 million people who can't return and 600,000 people who live under increasing threat with the junta now back in power, those who committed the acts of violence against them in the first place.
And the United Nations is calling it genocide, but the international community has done nothing to help the Rohingya people, and the World Court verdict could take months. So what real impact will a ruling against the junta have, and what more should the world be doing to bring justice to the Rohingya people?
Sure. So unfortunately, a ruling is probably years down the line. We're really just at, jurisdictional and admissibility issues, which means that may be months down the line. I think what the court case did when it was filed in 2019 is it brought the attention to what happened to the Rohingya. It was brought by a country, Gambia, that's not even connected to the issue, to say that genocide is something that's a matter of everybody in the international community. So I think the filing of the case itself was a recognition of the plight of the Rohingya. And when you talk about something like genocide, that at the core of it is actually the denial of the existence of a community, an attempt to destroy them, the recognition itself is a really important component. I think there's so much more the international community needs to do right now, not just for the Rohingya, but for the entire population of Myanmar. You've seen continued Security Council failure to act on the coup. We've seen, statements of concerns, but calls for actions, concrete actions like a global arms embargo have been completely ignored by the international community and could really help change the situation in Myanmar.
Such an important point. Akila Radhakrishnan, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.